The #1 channel for Jacksonville Jaguars, baby. And we gotta keep it hype. Represented for life. You know how we do it. Woo! Hey! Jacksonville Jags. We don't mean to brag, but when we on the field, we got it in the bag. Jacksonville Jags. You know how we ball. Best believe it. Got the people screaming out, Duval. Jacksonville Jags. We don't mean to brag, but when we on the field, we got it in the bag. Jacksonville Jags. You know how we ball. Best believe it. Got the people screaming out, Duval. Okay, Jacksonville Jaguars. Too much for your crew to handle. Keep it lit. And this is the #1 YouTube channel by UCF Jaguar. Yeah, we about to blast off. If you've been a fan, then this is the dopest platform. Yeah, never hold back. Gotta represent for the teal and black. Breaking news, live streams, post-game videos, yeah, all that. Gotta keep it hype for show. You know how we reppin', serving L's to the Colts, to the Titans, and the Texans. Yeah, stay tuned for more. You can feel the energy for sure. UCF about to hold it down. Subscribe, come and check it out. University of Central Florida. After graduating, he was inspired. Made the channel, had to make it happen. Bringing you the news and go take it higher. Jacksonville Jags. We don't mean to brag, but when we on the field, we got it in the bag. Jacksonville Jags. You know how we ball. Best believe it. Got the people screaming out, Duval. Jacksonville Jags. We don't mean to brag, but when we on the field, we got it in the bag. Jacksonville Jags. You know how we ball. Best believe it. Got the people screaming out, Duval. Okay, Duval. That teal and black. Where you at? Got it hype. All the fans, and we don't know how to act. Duval, and that's for life. Get it right. UCF Jaguar. Right now you should come subscribe. This the spot where it's poppin'. Really ain't a better option. You can check it any minute. All the games he be watching. Yeah. So if you wanna stay up in the mix, don't nobody do it like this. Yeah. You don't wanna miss all the real fans. You can't resist. Let's go. Jacksonville Jags. We don't mean to brag, but when we on the field, we got it in the bag. Jacksonville Jags. You know how we ball. Best believe it. Got the people screaming out, Duval. Jacksonville Jags. We don't mean to brag, but when we on the field, we got it in the bag. Jacksonville Jags. You know how we ball. Best believe it. Got the people screaming out, Duval. Hey, UCF Jaguar. Represent for life, baby. Hey, make sure you subscribe. We gonna keep it live. Let's go.
And what is going on, everybody? Welcome back into the channel. It is currently July 9th, and we are in the absolute dead season of the NFL right now. Let me adjust this light. It's a little bit bright. We are in the dead period. Ooh, that's a little too dark. Let's see. Okay, that should be good. We are in the dead period right now, but it doesn't mean we can't come out with a little bit of content. Just want to talk with you guys just a little bit. Tie-Dye Ellie was the first person in here. What's going on? Matt Ware says 33 days to preseason game 1. So excited. So much fun. No way he got T-Law. I did not. Cameron, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing good. We got Debo in the building. What's going on, homie? Yeah, the title of this video is kind of just more sarcasm. Like, I was making a video and I was like, okay, it's July 9th. There's nothing going on. Instead of saying like boring live stream, I'm just going to say, you know what? Let's be a little bit ironic and act like it's the best live stream of all time. But we'll say we do have a special guest coming on about midway through the show. We have NFL cameraman Aaron Berkshire official. He does a lot of Jaguars content when it comes to releasing Jags photos and stuff like that. And, you know, he's just a really good photographer and he's an NFL guy. So we're going to bring him on here. Richmond says, been a while. Yes, it has. Charlie Boy says, what's up, guys? Long time no talk. I know, man. I know. The dead part of the season. Yeah, it's yeah, you know, this offseason for the Jaguars, it's been boring, but it's not a bad thing. I mean, the Chiefs, I mean, did they have a fun offseason? I mean, yeah, they signed Juwan Taylor, but you know, the less activity, the better, because you don't want to have an eventful offseason, because then that means that you're signing a bunch of free agents, which means that, you know, you had a lot of money to blow, which probably means that you weren't very good in the previous year. Maybe you have a top 5 draft pick, which means that you're bad the year before. Maybe you got a new coach. Maybe you have new quarterbacks. Maybe you have a bunch of drama on your team. We didn't have any of that, luckily. And it was actually kind of nice because the last 2 off seasons, we've been going through head coaching searches, and man, all that is tiring. But now we are at a period where, the nucleus of our roster is in place. We have our head coach. We have our quarterback. I can't remember the last time we were going into a season where we knew both. Actually, we've never really gone into a season where we've known that we've had our head coach or we've known that we had our quarterback. And now we know we have both of those things. We know Doug Peterson's the truth and we know Trevor Lawrence is the truth. So, man, it's exciting, man. It's an exciting time. And look, this is the calm before the storm. 2 months from tomorrow is the opening game of the year where the Jaguars are going to Indianapolis. They're going to play Anthony Richardson and the Colts. Going to be awesome, and I really can't wait. We just kind of got to get through this little bit of a dry period. So if you guys can, go spend some time with your family, go do a lot of activities with them, because little did they know they're about to lose you every Sunday for the rest of the year. At least, games are at 1:00. Go take your wife and family out at 7:00. You'll be good. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. J-Man in the building says, so stoked for the season. Trev and Ridley about to light it up, dude. It's gonna be, yeah, I'm excited for Calvin Ridley. Oh man, yeah, we have a number 1 receiver. We have Trevor Lawrence, who should just, Trevor Lawrence was beast mode the last half of 2022. Imagine if he takes another step from there. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's, right now he's probably a top 5 quarterback in the AFC. Imagine if he, now it's all about, can you take a leap past Burrow or Josh Allen? I think Patrick Mahomes, he's got 2 Super Bowl rings. It's going to take a little bit to unseat him. But yeah, the Jaguars, if we win the Super Bowl this year, all of a sudden you have more Super Bowl rings than Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. You have just as many as Aaron Rodgers, who's over there on the Jets now. It's going to be fun. And now we're going into a season where we're not sitting here and saying, okay, guys, my record prediction 7-10, improvement from last year. No, we're going into this saying we should no doubt win the AFC South. We're better than all these other teams out there. Now it's all about just going out there and doing it. Now it's all about, can we get a number 1 seed, number 2 seed? Can we go out here and get a 12, 13 win season? It's going to be really, really exciting. And I really can't wait. Of course, not going to count our chickens before the hatch or whatever. But look, if we want to go into projections, look, that's what we should be. And we're not going to just be able to bowl over every team in the AFC South. But right now, on paper, when you ask all the experts are all saying, unless they want a hot take, all of them know that the Jaguars are the best team right now. The Titans, I think, are still going to be tougher than people think. But the Colts, big time transition period, rookie quarterback. Same thing with the Texans. The Texans are probably the 3rd best team. But yeah, we should be pretty well set. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'll definitely go and answer them for you. This is more, we're gonna have a little bit of a conversation and go about things that way. Now, some Jaguars news that I have missed. Cam Robinson, his suspension did turn out to only be 4 games, which is interesting. I thought it was going to be between 4 through 8 games, probably more like 6. But he gets a 4-game suspension. I don't know. I was more along the camp of I was almost hoping he got 6 games because each game that he's due $17 million this year. And each game that he doesn't play, the Jaguars save $1 million. So I was saying, look, if he's suspended 6 games, that's $6 million. Allocate that money to a pass rusher for a 1-year deal, but it's not really going to play out that way. And I don't know if the Jaguars are going to try to pursue any pass rushers, but Cam gets 4 games. It'll be interesting to see what happens because right now it's pretty clear what the Jaguars are going to do. Walker at left tackle, Harrison right tackle. You got Fortner at center. And then to the right, you have Brandon Sheriff. And then left guard is more of the mystery. Is Ben Barch is probably going to start there week 1. But how about later in the year? What happens once Cam Robinson comes back? You want to get your 5 best offensive linemen on the field. So is it going to be Walker Little left tackle, Cam Robinson left guard? Is it going to be Cam Robinson left tackle, Walker Little left guard? I'll tell you this, if Walker Little's playing at an elite level and he's given up no sacks and like one pressure, I'm not moving him to left guard just because Cam Robinson is an old dog and they may not want to learn new tricks. I'm putting my best offensive lineman at left tackle. I mean, you're protecting Trevor Lawrence's blind side. Trevor Lawrence is the most important asset in Jacksonville right now. I'm going to protect him. I don't want to get him hit. I want to keep him clean. I want to keep those, the all white uniforms, without any grass marks on it. So yeah, that's just my opinion. And then the Jaguars are probably going to be signing Doug Peterson's son. I think his name is Josh Peterson at tight end. Not as good as the former dad-son head coach tight end duo with Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow, but this will just have to do. And I think actually Josh Peterson as a tight end, he was actually had the third most receiving yards amongst any player in the USFL. So that's pretty interesting. Brianna says, with Cam, it's either he gets suspended or gets penalized. I like him and he's a great player, but when is he going to learn? Yeah, I mean, I don't see him being on the Jaguars after this year. I'll be honest with you. I think this will be his last year. They cut him because they're going to save a bunch of money. And then you got to figure out how to retain your guys, man. I mean, we got Calvin Ridley contract year. You have Josh Allen contract year. Evan Ingram's playing on a franchise tag. You got some players that you need to make some big decisions on. So, and I would like to try to keep at least two out of those guys. I mean, I would love to keep Josh Allen and Calvin Ridley. We'll see how it plays out. Then he'll sign with a team, hopefully the Jags. Is Josh Peterson basically a practice squad player? I'm not too sure. I know we didn't do we got Evan Ingram on a franchise tag. We drafted Britton Strange in the second round. But outside of that, we don't have too much invested in tight end. Luke Farrell was, a 6th-round pick. And we didn't have anybody replace Manhurts. So I imagine there's a very, very open spot at the 4th tight end where let the best man win. There's going to be a very clear battle there. So we'll see. Thoughts on the DeAndre Hopkins situation? I mean, right now, I think the teams are down to like the Titans and Patriots. I mean, we'll see. As much as I would love to be a team that could use DeAndre Hopkins, right now we're not a team that can use DeAndre Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if there's any position where we need to get younger at, it's the wide receiver position. And we have so many veterans at wide receiver where, we can't really allocate much more money there. Like I said, I like to go out and find a pass rusher of some sort, but yeah, we'll see what happens there. Or even another cornerback. Watch us put 65 points on week 1 versus the Colts. I do love a good week 1 victory. A good 1-0 in week 1. Last year, week 1's game was awkward against the Commanders. It was just an ugly game. You don't like FedEx Field. It's against an NFC team, so you don't really know a lot about them. Go out there, beat the Colts down. The interesting thing is, I wonder who's going to be starting quarterback that game. Is going to be Gardner Minshew or Anthony Richardson? I don't know. I mean, I would love to play Gardner just to see what that's like, even though Gardner's always he's got that one game of magic in him. It kind of seeps into maybe week 2 a little bit, and then he just kind of falls off a cliff. Seems to be kind of his thing. I can't wait for the Miller practice facility. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. How many of you guys am I going to see at training camp? I think training camp's going to be this month, right? They're going to be open practices. Man, I can't wait. We got the shade. Oh man, I've been going to Jaguars practices my whole entire life. Just super pumped to be able to go and experience that. Shout out to everybody in here, 63 people. If you guys can, drop a like for me. That would be awesome if you guys could do that. And we still almost won the Commanders game. Sick interception. But yeah, when Walker had the interception, I was like, dude, this guy's the freaking truth, because he had a sack. I was like, this guy's about to take over. But unfortunately, he peaked that game. But hey, I want to see him. I want to see him at training camp. I want to see, do you have pass rushing moves, or are you just like bum rushing into the chest again? We'll see how they got food out there. There's usually food out there, I think. Remember the time we went to the season start 1-0 and we played the Colts? I do. And we were not satisfied with 1-0. But at the end of the day, I was, because 1-15 got us Trevor Lawrence. And I'm out here wearing this jersey. I got him in my background. I got 2 of them in my background. I'm all in on my Trevor Lawrence apparel, okay? I could not afford for Trevor Lawrence to not be the answer, because what am I going to do with this jersey? What am I going to do with all that back there? Would have to totally change my background. Are you confident or instead wishfully hoping Walker breaks out this year. I am on the fence. I'm definitely wishfully hopeful. I'm just hoping because look, he's never been a pass rusher. I mean, in college he didn't do that. He didn't do it last year. We drafted a player solely on production, and I come from the school of talk is talk. Talk is cheap. Okay, we can sit here and talk all we want, but prove it to me. You know what I'm saying? That's why last year some people brought me on their channels. They're like, what do you think about the Jags record prediction? I'm like, look, I have never seen Trevor Lawrence have a good Jaguar season. I've never seen Christian Kirk go over 1,000 yards. I've never seen, Walker do pass rushing moves. I've never seen the I've never seen the Jaguars do a lot of this stuff. So they're going to have to prove it to me before I think they're going to be any good. And look, they did. I mean, everybody had a career year. Evan Ingram, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, everybody. So yeah, with Walker, I'm not sitting here. I'm definitely not calling him a bust, but I'm definitely saying that, look, prove it to me. Prove to me that you are that you're going to be a pass rusher, and prove to me that you are the best player in the 2022 NFL draft, because the Jaguars drafted him number 1 overall. They took him over everybody else available in that draft. So he's got some big expectations, and he better be more than just a run stuffer. No, he's got to be able to impact a pass rusher. He's got to be disruptive. He's got to be able to do it all. So we will see. We will see, but I'm excited to see him. David Bryan in the building. What's up, man? If we lose Evan Ingram at the end of the 2023 season, should we invest in a tight end in the draft or free agency? Well, if we lose him, it's probably because we can't afford him. So maybe free agency is out the window, and probably invest in a draft. But yeah, because I definitely think, I mean, when you're ranking, I'd rather keep Calvin Ridley than Evan Ingram. But like the Jaguars, Doug Peterson, our scheme is just so friendly to tight ends. It'll, scout your guy. We'll see what Brenton Strange does. Maybe Brenton Strange comes into the Evan Ingram role, and then you look for a Brenton Strange kind of replacement of that role. We'll see, but it's definitely exciting. What's the chance that we lose Evan Ingram in your opinion? I don't know, because Evan Ingram is kind of fighting for a market that's not really there. It's tough to pay tight ends because, slot receivers get paid a lot of money, but tight ends, like Evan Ingram is basically like a slot wide receiver, and he gets paid way less than Christian Kirk. So it's a position where, look, the market isn't really paying them. So how are you supposed to just give a guy well over market value when, you're trying to build a championship roster? It's just, it's tough. Are you going to any road games? I am going to the Buccaneers game on Christmas Eve. Excited about that one. But other than that, I'm not making any like big road trips or anything this year. I have Aaron's going to join me here in a moment. What's your take on where Tank Bigsby falls on the running back depth chart? A lot of fancy experts and regular podcasters love him along the Fred Taylor status. I think he's 3rd on the chart. Well, I do think he's 2nd on the chart. I mean, they drafted him on day 3. I think it's tough for for fantasy football purposes. I'm probably staying away from ETN and Tank Bigsby, because I have a feeling that Tank Bigsby is going to be like a pest. Like, I think the big reason why they got Tank Bigsby, I think, is for those short yardage situations. And, Travis Etienne kind of took a beating last year. And I think, when it's 2nd and goal from the 1, I think Tank Bigsby gets that carry instead of Travis Etienne. So you're going to have Etienne get all these all-purpose yards, and Tank Bigsby get, steal touchdowns away from him. I think he's going to be a little bit of a fancy pest, if I'm being honest. All right, guys. So joining me right now, I'm going to bring him in. I have Aaron Berkshire. What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing? Can you hear me good?
Yeah, man. Your audio is all unclear. So you got it figured out, I guess, man. It looks like you got the computer set up.
Dude, I got it figured out. Let me see if I can get this volume up a little louder so I can hear you good.
All right, sweet, man. Sweet.
Good. I'm good. I can hear good. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. So is that your official like NFL sideline hat right there?
This is my official hat.
Sweet, man. Sweet. Yeah. So I want to talk about that real quick. So if you guys don't know, man, this is Aaron Berkshire. He goes by on Instagram at Aaron Berkshire Official. I'll go and put his Instagram up here.
It's crazy. I
But
said,
yeah, he's really like rose to the ranks, man. I remember I've known you for like a couple years, and when I first met you, you're kind of, slowly just a little bit on the scene. But man, these last couple years has been like, just your growth really in just the photographer community, and now you got all this access to different like Jaguars players. So I guess tell us about like how you got into the field, and what the last couple years have been like for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, like I've just always been the kind of person that like goes full throttle when I want to do something, and in early 2020, I had never shot any sports or any football literally ever. And the pandemic kind of sidelined my career at the time. So I was like, hey, I really want to shoot some football. And, here we are 3 years later. When I want to do something, I put my mind to it, and I don't stop until I get it. That's just kind of been my thing for a long time, and it's so funny. I put official in my name like 10 years ago when I was in a band playing music, and I just never changed it. I was like, I don't ever need a blue check mark. My name says official by it. So let's do it.
There you go. Yeah. It's, so I'm going to ask you, man. So like so you probably know Trevor Lawrence like personally, right? So what's he like as like a person? Because I know we get kind of media Trevor Lawrence, and he's like says all the most perfect things to the media. Then I mean, it just seems like a pretty like upstanding guy. But I guess what's his like personality like? What's I guess tell us a little more about him.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't spent any like significantly personal like time with him or anything other than our off-season workout this a few months ago when I filmed him and Calvin for the first time. That was really one of the first times that I got to just have kind of a personal moment, a few hours for a couple days with him. And, he's exactly the same person as he is with the media. He's very just relaxed and laid back and chill, and just super nice. And, didn't want to, go too crazy with, asking him anything or anything. Just, I kind of mind my excitement. I try to chill on the excitement when I'm hanging with him, just kind of chill and, just keep it simple. Don't want to like,
you got to act like you're not totally starstruck.
I love you, Trevor.
You got to act like you're not totally starstruck by this, by the savior of your city, man.
Dude, I love the guy so much. And he knows it, dude. I'm like my Instagram has become like a personal Trevor Lawrence fan page. I met a football player recently. I did a camp, and he was a player who played for the Carolina Panthers, and he was here doing a camp, and I was shooting it. And he's like, "Dang, you got a lot of that boy Trevor on your Instagram. I don't know if I can follow you, man. It's all that boy Trevor." And I was just like, "Whoa! I post other people too. Like it's not just T Law, but I mean, dude, it is like a lot. He knows I love him, and he's but I also loved Gardner. I was personal. I actually had more of a relationship than Gardner over the time we spent together. I feel like I've known Trevor now than I knew Gardner, but I think Trevor kind of slow warming up to me because he knew I had worked with Minshew, and he knew I was kind of, just real, like working with Minshew a little bit, and he didn't want to come in, and take the job from Gardner. And also like all of a sudden the camera guy that was just messing with Gardner's all of a sudden just shooting Trevor 24/7. So it really took a while for him to warm up to me a little bit. And I kind of pressed him like I was just talking to him over, DM. And I was just like, dude, I want to film you guys the first time you go out and throw and work out this off season. I was sending him videos of Mahomes, like just throwing like just a couple different videos. Like, hey, I just want to do some, just out there having fun, throwing around. And Tim Jones.
Yeah. Tim Jones,
our receiver, Tim Jones. What an amazing human. Love that guy. He's got a great personality. He kind of just also was down to do some stuff. And he gave me the time and place, and I said, "Hey, is it cool with everybody?" And he was like, "Yeah." Trevor said, "You're good. Let's go." And I was like, "All right, let's go." And I honestly thought that there'd be a couple more camera people there because it was just Calvin Ridley's kind of first morning, throwing, working, catching with him, and a couple of guys. I mean, Evan was out there, Ingram, Jamal was out there, a couple practice squad guys were out there, and I thought I'd show up and there'd be just like a couple more people. No, literally just the players and me, no one else. And I was just like, "Wow, this is nuts." I didn't even realize what was happening until I drove off, and I texted one of the Jaguars social media guys, and I said, "I think I just shot history, but I'm not sure."
Yeah, because that was wild. Because so you were everybody when Calvin, because we had Calvin really wasn't like we signed him in March. 2 weeks later, we get to see it. It was like we knew about him. when the Jaguars were like 2-5. It was like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, and he got to cheer us on throughout the whole like playoffs.
Yeah,
and
he got to be a
that.
fan. I mean, I remember when he was at the press conference, he was like, I watched every play like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
he got to see the rides, he got to look at our offense
Yep.
and kind of see like where he would fit.
Yeah,
And,
you know he was stoked at the end of the season too. Like when we were keeping up with the Chiefs, you know he was thinking like, "Oh my God, I'm on this team next year. I'm gonna make a little bit of a difference." Or maybe he was thinking, "I'm gonna make a lot of difference."
Yeah,
and he's you know, I'm biased because I work for him and I love him and I'm a diehard, and I grew up being a diehard Jag fan my whole life. Liked a couple other teams, big Tom Brady fan. I like Peyton Manning a lot too growing up, so I have a Manning jersey. I cheered him on for the Broncos, and I thought it was cool in 2015 when he won. And people were like, "You're such a Bronco fan." I'm like, "Yeah, but I've been cheering for Manning and the Broncos, but like I'm a diehard Jag fan. Not, you know, I don't have multiple favorite teams. Like I'm born and raised in Duval and always been a Jag fan more than anything." So
yeah, that's the thing. Like, really, especially like as you get a little bit older, like because you know, growing up when I'm 16, my dad would talk about Elway or Marino, and like for me, it's like those are just like guys to me. Like I don't have any memory, but now like when you're watching this, like Tom Brady, like I mean, he was annoying as like just a fan because he's always in the Super Bowl, but it's like we're witnessing greatness.
Yeah,
you're really witnessing a guy that will probably not get his Super Bowl streak ever like broken. And just all these guys, and now we're watching Patrick Mahomes, and it's like, dude, this guy could really go down as maybe the best quarterback ever. I mean, if there's anybody that could beat, I mean, man, it's going to be tough with the AFC now to really run through because Tom Brady was kind of facing like Ben Roethlisberger and Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
that was kind of it.
In his division though, for 20 years, like who really stacked up? I mean, maybe like a couple years of. Man, I can't even think who really challenged them.
No, like literally, if you look at Tom Brady's time,
and the Jets, like who really challenged the Patriots?
Like if you look at Tom Brady's time with the Patriots, like who was the second best quarterback in that streak? It might have been Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah,
because you're gonna compare it to like I don't know, like they were so many maybe Chad Pennington way back in the day or. Yeah. Like I don't know, but yeah, he just kind of bowled through it while the
Bills and the Dolphins over those
Mahomes
years.
Has Herbert right over there across from him, and
I know. Yo, honestly though, I was reading through some of the comments before I joined in just to see what some of the questions that people were putting up, and dude, the Herbert Lawrence, it makes me so angry because like everyone's. And somebody used this example on Instagram to me when I commented on something. And I was like, I still can't believe that people are still putting Justin so far above Trevor, right? They're still putting him above him, even though we've beaten him both times. Clearly we beat the Chargers both times we played them last year in the playoffs too. And everyone puts Herbert above Lawrence, and they gave me the comparison of Joe Burrow beat Mahomes, but everybody still thinks Mahomes is better than Joe Burrow. Yeah. And I'm like, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I mean, how the quarterbacks pop off on season 3. So, I mean, now we have Ridley. I mean, Josh Allen, season 3 popped off. Everyone's popping off on season 3, really, for the most part, So, this is a huge deal for T Law.
Yeah, I know for me, like, I'm not super, when it comes to Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence debate, like, I don't get super into it on that just because I'm more focused on how can Trevor Lawrence get to number 2? How can Trevor Lawrence get over Allen and Burrow, and then get that Lombardi, and all of a sudden, because right now, I mean, the consensus in the AFC right now is Mahomes, Burrow, and Allen. My thing is like, okay, and then you have your 4th, 5th, Justin Herbert. Is it Trevor Lawrence? Some people throw like 2 into there. I'm like, okay, after this season, I want to ascend to the level.
That's why. So let me ask you a question. What do you think it would take this year? Other than obviously winning a Super Bowl, what do you think it would take this year full on for Trevor to be looked at like literally in that over Josh, over Lamar, over Justin to take the ascension to be with like when people say Mahomes, Burrow, Lawrence, like what do you think he needs to do this year and we need to do to back him up for him to really make that jump?
Well, I mean, I think at the very least you have to go to the Super Bowl because that's all that people care. I mean, Lamar Jackson won an MVP and he's not in that conversation. It's because like you gotta be going back to the playoffs. You gotta be like winning playoff games. That's one reason why when you look back on it, like Philip Rivers is a great quarterback, but he's not really discussed in that top elite echelon. Even when Peyton Manning and Tom Brady were kind of neck and neck for a while, but then Tom Brady just swept him away all because of the Super Bowl victories. I mean, that was the main thing. He was so good in the playoffs. For me, I look at quarterbacks and I look at them not necessarily how they play in the regular season, because I know what Joe Burrow can do. I know what Josh Allen can do and all that stuff. But for me, what do they want to get to the playoffs? Are they taking their team, putting the team on their back and really winning games because of them? I mean, you see Joe Burrow. I put over Josh Allen because of the playoff effect, man. I mean, Joe Burrow is just better than Josh Allen is in the playoffs. So yeah, that's with me. I mean, I think to be in that category, and that's one reason why people are kind of, because if you compare Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert has 3 long years of being highly productive. You look at Trevor Lawrence, he has a half a season of it.
Yeah, literally.
He came back against Justin Herbert 27-0, and then because of that and because of how he ended 2022, there's a legitimate debate between the two.
Yeah, it's really sad. I really think it's a matter of our window's open now. It's officially open. Our window of winning the Super Bowl with quarterback money deals and just all of it. When everything falls into place, our window is officially open. How many seasons do you think we have of this full-on window before we have to, Kirk and Ingram and Zay and all these guys that are on our team? And of course, we got Josh Allen. We don't know what's going to happen to him, and the defensive guys. But how many seasons do you really think our window's open right now? Especially since this season might be our last in this stadium for 2 seasons. It could very well end up being our last season at home coming up. And how long's our window? The window definitely until Trevor's done.
As long as you have Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson, I mean, your window is always open. You got to be good with your money.
Yep.
And that's one reason. I mean, this offseason, we're all like, spend money, but it's probably smart not to, because look, next year, I mean, Calvin Ridley is not under contract. Evan Ingram, I mean, Josh Allen. You're going to want to start retaining your guys, and you got to draft smart. You got to do all that. But yeah, I mean, if you have your quarterback, I mean, if you look at the Chiefs, on offense, they had a good offensive line. They had Travis Kelce, but they didn't have a lot on offensively. And defense, you got to keep your defense good enough. But man, just the Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes
offensive line is so good, and we still couldn't get to them.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, they just got better because they just got Taylor from us. Yeah. they just got Taylor.
It's rough, but yeah, that's the exciting thing about this year, is because look, we've gone into pretty much every year since I've been a fan. It's we got questions about quarterback and head coach. Now, for the first time ever, I feel confident about both of the spots.
Yep, don't have to think about it anymore. We've never actually had this. We've literally never had this. I was too young to remember Mark Brunell and Tom Coughlin. Yeah. So I mean, and we went to the playoffs. 07 Gerard. And was that Del Rio with him? But that still wasn't the same feeling of having a Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence. Having a Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence, I mean, it literally is like having our own version of a Andy Reid, or what could be an Andy Reid and Mahomes. Because look at Trevor, how he plays, the way he carries himself, everything about him. And then Doug, obviously, straight from Andy Reid's, system. I don't know. I love Doug. Every time I'm around him, he said hi to me a couple times, and I just Doug, I love you, Doug.
I just feel safe with him as my head coach.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about
stupid decisions.
Yeah. And that's one thing that when we had Urban Meyer, I couldn't listen to Urban Meyer press conferences. I'm like, this is the guy that's this is the guy that's controlling my happiness on Sundays. That's supposed to build the future of this team. And he's just out there. He's got terrible body language. He looks so out of it. He doesn't know his own players. But then Doug is up there just confident. He's cool,
he
calm,
knows
collected.
Exactly what to do, man. He played quarterback in this league. And how many coaches, I mean, you might not know this, but I mean, how many coaches do you think are actually full on coaching in the NFL right now? Head coach out of all teams that was a full on successful quarterback in the NFL.
Like actual starter, or
No, well, I don't know about Doug Peterson starting, but are there any other quarterback coaches right now that were whether you're a backup? I know that might be hard to kind of think about, but I honestly don't think so.
Yeah, I can't think of any
there's any coaches right now that were a professional quarterback. Maybe not a starter, but how many seasons did Dougie play? He played a lot.
Yeah,
he was there for a while. He was he might as well have been a maybe not Ryan Fitzpatrick, that many teams, but he was around for a while in the NFL. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot of corner. I know head coaches, there seems to be a lot of linemen and tight ends that end up doing it. But yeah, I can't.
This is a QB coach, head coach.
Yeah, and
Played
it's sweet, and the whole entire. Okay, yeah, we got some. The Harbaugh, I don't think Jim Harbaugh. I think Jim Harbaugh was the guy, the coach from Michigan. He was, but I don't think John Harbaugh was a quarterback, was he? The coach of the Ravens. I think it was just Jim.
Yeah, but like an actual coach who played in the NFL. I mean, this guy played behind. Dougie played behind. Who did he play behind?
Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He had a good career, and he's been around. He was a backup quarterback, and sometimes these backup quarterbacks they make pretty good like coordinators. I mean, you look at like Kellen Moore. He's the OC for the Chargers right now. I mean, he's proved to be pretty good.
I mean, I won't bleep this out. I won't say anything about entertainment level in the the industry, but I would say that hey, an Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, feud for the next like decade, that would be awesome for me. Wouldn't that be great ratings? I mean, Doug Peterson versus his old mentor.
Dude, I need it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good to have Trevor versus Mahomes for the next 15 seasons, like until I'm 50 years old. Let's go.
Anything that's not like us versus the Jets versus the Browns is like the crappiest team in the AFC.
That is what I'm worried about. I'm honestly worried about the Jets being a sleeper in our like, we got to the divisional round last year and I was like, wow, we did not expect to really make it that far, and we did. But like this year, we thought last year was crazy in the AFC, and we still made it to that divisional round, man. One game away from the AFC Championship since 2017, where we actually made it that far. And I don't know. I am very confident that we will slay it this year. Like, I'm thinking we're easily going to win 12, 13 games. But I mean, Rodgers and the Jets and all. I mean, they just. I don't even think anyone's putting the Jets up there as a Super Bowl contender, and I think that they easily could be, because we don't know how many more seasons Rodgers has, and man, he's feeling and looking real refreshed and good. So the Jets, who knows?
Yeah, no, the Jets, they're going to be a tough team, and with Rodgers they're going to be good, but their thing is that I think they have like a 2-year window, and then luckily they brought in because we were kind of similar to. I mean, I guess our 2017 team was kind of similar to their team from last year, except they had absolutely no offense. They were such a mess while their defense was really good.
No offense, no quarterback.
But we followed it up with extending Bortles or signing Foles, and they followed it up with signing Aaron Rodgers, which was a little bit of a move up from what we did. But
dude, I have a cup in my cabinet downstairs that has Nick Foles on the cup from gas station, and it has like Fournette next to him and Jalen Ramsey on it, and my wife thinks it's so funny, the Nick Foles cup, because she goes, "Dang, dude, this is like this is like a multiverse, a Marvel multiverse world where we were stoked for 5 seconds for Nick Foles to be our starting quarterback and like that team," and that's hilarious.
Yeah, it doesn't even like feel like it happened. Like, it doesn't feel like Nick Foles was ever a Jaguar. Like,
he played one down, and then he came back and played, 3 games and like lost all of them.
Yeah, and he probably came back too early. It was just like, and then
I wonder if he's done now. I wonder if he's fully done now.
Yeah, I don't know if he officially retired. I don't think a team has signed him, but
yeah,
I mean, he just needs to sign a 1-day deal with Philly and just call it a career.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to get a second Doug Peterson statue. Actually,
man, I need it, dude. I need a Super Bowl so bad. And that's why I want to find out a way, like when a new stadium is being built, find a way to play in Jacksonville, man. Because like I live in Orlando, I love Orlando, but I would hate for like us to win the AFC Championship game here, and they're holding up the Lombardi in this shitty Orlando stadium that we have over here. Like,
coming from my point of view, like from the camera's point of view, not stoked, but I mean, I'll be stoked if we're winning. And unfortunately, I don't get to go to the away games either. So if we do win any big bangers out there, like at other people's stadiums, I won't be present for that one. But the ones I will be present for will be in the Orlando. I went to the Pro Bowl there in 2019. I saw DJ Chark and Josh Allen.
Was that the rain game? When it was raining the whole game?
That was the day that Kobe Bryant passed away.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I went the year before. Yeah, that's rough.
The day of the Pro Bowl.
I was in St. Augustine that day.
Huh?
That's crazy. I think everyone remembers where they were when that happened. Like, I was in St. Augustine with my wife. Like,
nice.
It was a rough day, man.
Is there Jaguar fans in Orlando? Are we starting to travel? I mean, I've been traveling around. As you know, I travel a little bit. I travel in the music industry. I travel sometimes and stuff. And I'll be seeing Jaguar fans. And I'll be like wearing something that I have a couple Trevor Lawrence like kind of themed shirts and whatnot. And the other day I was in not the other day, like a couple weeks ago, I was out of town and I was in a coffee shop and not anywhere near here. And the person was like, "Hey, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be awesome." I was like, "What?" So I think we're starting to get fans out there.
Yeah, we I don't know. It's kind of a melting pot out here. It's really just there's all kinds of different people wearing stuff. But of course, me, like, I don't even wear that much Jaguar stuff around just because I have like a drawer of Jaguar stuff here and I don't really like to wear it too much because I like to wear it on channel. I don't want to like dirty it. So that's kind of like my thing. And usually it's like these Jaguar shirts for like $39 if you buy it like Nike official.
Dude, I know. Which is my favorite.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like, and that's one reason why if the Jaguars were to play away from Jacksonville, I think Orlando would be cool because it really is just such a free agent city. Like if the Jaguars were to play here for 2 years, dude, we would gather a massive fan base. And all of a sudden, you talk about a small market team that kind of probably needs to generate a little bit more fans. It'd be they would definitely capture this market. Then it'd be kind of cool to seeing more Jaguar stuff around Orlando.
Do you think it's possible to play anywhere in Jacksonville during that? Like
I don't
for real.
Unless you're playing in the stadium while it's being constructed. I mean, do people really want to pour that much money into UNF or pour that much money into like the baseball fields? I mean, you're renovating the current stadium because you want to save costs, but you got to think, man, if you're going to play in UNF, you need locker rooms, you need like spots for like official CBS cameras, you need like
room for everything, room for all of us. There's a lot going on.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much more than just like, put up stands for the fan. No, there's like,
it's so
you gotta have so much more infrastructure. And that's why when I look at all the options, Orlando, I mean, when you compare Gainesville to Orlando, Gainesville, I don't think it'd work there because like just the roadways aren't good there. It takes forever to like drive around there. Then Orlando, like the airport's right there. People flying in the airport, they can just go right in. My only thing is I think the thing that it's toughest for of everybody, you're thinking of like, fans and all this stuff. It's toughest for the players, man. Like imagine these players, every home game they have to go to Orlando or every home game they have to go to Gainesville. I mean, that's freaking annoying. That's why I don't mind like 1 year away from Jackson. 1 year away from Jacksonville, I'm fine. But 2 years, man, that's during our golden era. That seems
we're literally going to win the Super Bowl while we're not being able to play at home games.
We're gonna win the AFC Championship game in Orlando while they're yelling Duval. Just doesn't sound.
Honestly, that'd be a hell of a moment to remember. That would be insane. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I hope they find somewhere to play in Jacksonville just because I don't feel like going to these other places. But hey, I mean, it'll all be worth it on the other side of it. Like I joke around. And I'm like, man, I hope that I still have the same position that I have. I mean, I wouldn't do anything to mess it up. I love working for the NFL. I love it. And I hope that I'm in the same position that I have right now when we're in that Jacksonville SoFi replica alien toilet seat looking thing. Honestly, it looks so sick. Like I can't wait to take video clips.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And also like, last 10, 15 years, whatever, we always hear London, Jaguars moving, all this stuff. But then like all of a sudden you see that thing there and it's like, yeah, the Jaguars are going to be here until the day I die. You know what I mean? Like they're not going anywhere. And that's one cool thing about the Performance Center. Like, a lot of people say, oh, cool, they're building a Miller Electric Center. That's going to be, I said, dude, once they put that shovel in the ground, that was a sign that the Jaguars are staying in.
They're done deal right now with the Miller Electric Center. It's already a done deal. Like we're not going anywhere. If anybody still thinks we could go somewhere, they need to walk their butt down to the stadium, new practice field. Which, since you brought it up, camp's coming up, and I really can't wait to get out there and see all the guys in their pads and just see Calvin Ridley in pads. We still haven't seen Calvin Ridley in pads.
Yeah, dude, I'm definitely going out there. I'm gonna try to make whatever they have open on the weekends, man. I'm going. I'm getting there early so I can make sure I'm in there.
What's the first date of camp? Do you remember?
I don't think that they didn't announce it yet, have they?
Oh, have they not even announced it yet?
Well, the second they announce, I'm freaking signing up for my tickets to get in because I'm not gonna be like missing these practices I didn't sign up early enough. You know what I'm saying?
Are you driving up all the way for camp? You just drive up from Orlando?
Yeah, I'll drive it for camp. Yeah.
You got family here in Jacksonville, or are you all
Not
based?
anymore. No, not anymore. My
Okay.
dad lived there until I was until about 3 years ago. But yeah,
Okay.
now
So what made you? You probably said this a million times on your channel, but what made you a diehard Jaguar fan? Just the fact.
oh no, I grew up in Jacksonville.
Okay.
I grew up in Fleming Island. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I moved down here to go to school at UCF, and I just like stayed over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I grew up I actually grew up my dad raised me a Buccaneers fan.
Oh,
And then I was like 11 or 12 years old, and I'm like, I live in Jacksonville. Why am I a Bucs fan?
I'm my Bucs fan. They didn't even have Tom Brady back then.
Yeah. And then I'm a big person where I'm like, look, I'm from Jacksonville is my city. I was raised there. I should be a Jaguar fan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I was never a Bucs fan, but I did go to 2 Bucs games while Tom Brady was playing, just because I wanted to go see him play. And honestly, their stadium, everyone says like our stadium is towards the bottom of the, whatever the trenches of the quality of all the stadiums. But I mean, I've been to the Buccaneers stadium 3 times now, and I don't think I literally personally don't think that it's any nicer, fancier, or any better. I mean, I'm sure they might not have rats.
No one talks about their stadium being like,
I don't think their stadium's all that.
Yeah.
The Pirates are cool, but I don't think it's all that.
Yeah, nobody like everyone's always dissing, Titan Stadium, Washington Stadium, Buffalo Stadium, but I mean they've had that stadium for a while, and I don't think they've like done anything to it.
Now Hard Rock, that's different. I went to I shot Christmas game, the Dolphins Buccaneers, and that was an amazing Christmas for me. Just getting to go shoot the Dolphins and seeing Aaron Rodgers for the final time in a Green Bay Packers uniform. And that was really cool. But man, dude, Hard Rock is special. It's sick.
Yeah, I haven't been there. I've driven. I feel like the Jaguars never play there, even though they're in the AFC.
No. Speaking of though, they're coming here, and Jalen Ramsey will make his return.
I know.
Duval in preseason.
Yeah, we got to. We don't play them in a regular season, right? Yeah, it's just, dude. I'm sitting here wondering in a preseason, like if we're ever even gonna play. Like, are we just gonna play the starters for like one game? Like, I don't really need to rush our guys out there, really. I mean, last year I wanted to see it so bad. I was so itching to see.
Yeah, we're so excited to see it. Yeah.
This year I'm like, okay, I've seen what Trevor looks like in a Jags
uniform. Yeah, that's why we couldn't wait though, because we had never had and forever LaVisca, Chark, those are my boys. A big fan of McCardle, Jimmy Smith growing up. I've talked to the Jimmy Smith a few times with the Jaguars Foundation events, and he's super nice. I love Jimmy Smith, but I don't quite think that we've had the level of receivers pretty much ever that we have right now. And I think everyone pretty much would agree with me on that.
Yeah, we have like multiple dudes. I mean, look, like Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, they're all proven guys.
Yep.
And then we have Jamal Agnew out there too, who's a Swiss Army knife.
I really think he's one of the fastest guys in the league. I really, really do. And that's why we kept him. And that's why even I hated that everybody was just disappointed that he dropped the ball in the AFC Championship or whatever. And figuratively, literally, he dropped the ball. But he plays so hard and he's so good. And I guarantee, because that happened, I guarantee nothing like that would ever happen again. I'm sure after him feeling that moment, he's never been in that moment. Jamal Agnew's never been in a high stakes playoff game in a winning moment. And obviously it's a big deal. It's a big deal to be given that moment, and to drop it. But like, yeah, he is so good and he deserves to. I'm glad that we kept him. He's so good.
Yeah, they found a way. I mean, he's electric. Yeah. He's electric on special teams, man. So it's good. It's definitely good to have him back. I'm looking forward to like seeing him play for the Jags a little bit more, and I'm just looking forward to hopefully another like just awesome year. I
am waiting for Ridley to cook Jalen Ramsey like that comment just said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you, because I know you kind of mentioned that you're like friends with Minshew. What was that whole like? I mean, I don't know if you're tied with him in 2020, but what was that whole thing like for him when he went in as a starter and then it started like slipping away? Then he kind of found his way off the Jaguars. Was he just like, what was he like during all that?
I think he's just, I didn't really get to know him too well until 2021. Right after it was the offseason that we were drafting Trevor. Because when we were in offseason, that draft was happening, and he kind of knew we were obviously going with the number 1 pick, and he knew it was time. That was actually when I started filming him, and that's when I started like seeing him on little workout high school fields, working out with Denny from 6 Point Jacks, his quarterback coach who also coaches Anthony Richardson and Brock Purdy. And so that's when I really started getting closer to Gardner. But from the time I have spent with Gardner, I could sense that this man was just grateful for his opportunity, and he's waiting for the next, and he'll keep taking his, he's kind of like, I feel like he's one of those quarterbacks that is fighting the odds his whole career, because nobody's, he's really, really fighting it. But he's a Wolverine, man. He's a beast. That guy's actually a beast, and he's very passionate. And I was really excited to watch him slay it against the Cowboys. And then he dropped the ball against, was it them again? I don't know. He won a good game last year, the one where him and his dad were like really pumped up after the game. Yeah. Wearing the Top Gun jacket or whatnot, and they were stoked. And then later on in the season, when when Jalen Hurts wasn't playing, he played a game, and he just barely lost. He threw toe-to-toe, and he just barely lost that game. But I truly think he'll get the start for the season for the Colts. I don't think Anthony Richardson will play the first game because of also drama points. I think a Gardner Minshew, Trevor Lawrence opening game, I think that would be cool for numbers. I think it'd be cool for drama and just fun, and just watching our guy G-Man go against Trevor. He took his job.
It'll probably be tough for you to watch that though, right? When it comes to like an actual friend of yours versus like, because I remember one time
prospect in 20 years apparently.
Yeah, because I had like a buddy of mine that was like he had like one start in college as a kicker, and it was like he was on USF and he was playing against UCF, and I was like, oh my god, like I don't want UCF to lose this game, so I want you to miss it, but fuck, man, like it wasn't a fun feeling, but I mean for that it all.
I always cheer for Gardner. I knew what it was with Trevor coming in.
Yeah,
and look at the guy. They were saying he could be the next Peyton Manning. He's wearing 16 because Peyton wore 16 in college. He wore 16. He went to Peyton Manning's camp. He looks
like a Peyton Manning that can run the ball, basically.
He literally looks like Peyton Manning. If Peyton Manning and Patrick Mahomes fused into a new gen kid, that was what Trevor Lawrence is. But the way
I wonder if Peyton Manning, if he could go back to when he was like young, if he would try to work on being able to run it, because nowadays all the quarterbacks can pretty much run. Yeah. But back in the day, they really couldn't. So I wonder if Peyton Manning had a redo, if he was a quarterback in the 2024 class,
would he learn
he would be able to run?
Yeah. You know? I mean, I just saw a clip actually on Instagram earlier today, just a flashback clip of Trevor running that 65-yard run in college for the touchdown. And I'm just waiting for him to just bust off a huge run where he just uses that huge body and long legs to just run by everybody in one day. Because what's crazy is he's going to do it. He's going to do it. And that hit that he shucked out at the end of the Kansas City game, he's a dog.
Yeah.
He's big. He's a dog. And when I say it's like he can run a little bit and he's got some moves. I see the guy running, and when he does his little, runs and throws, the way he just looks, he looks like Patrick Mahomes to me, at least being just a few feet from him in person. He's very, very athletic in that same kind of way. But dude, the way he can see it over the line and the way he can start controlling things and have the Peyton Manning effect eventually, the Tom Brady Peyton Manning effect with his body and every,
Yeah, and that's the thing about this year is we've seen 2 years of Trevor Lawrence, and we've seen half a season of good production. I can't imagine expanding that for a whole year and then really what kind of level he can reach, because it's it's just super exciting. And look, it's still early July. I feel like we're 2 months away from the season, which is kind of close, but it still seems so far away. 2 months ago was May 9th, which doesn't seem that long ago, but September 9th seems like forever.
Now we're knocking on the door to the preseason game. The Dolphins will be here, and we'll be playing football before we blink an eye.
And we're going to be all excited for preseason, and once preseason starts, we realize how much we remember how much we hated preseason. It's such a it's
crazy that all the preseason games are away too, except for the Dolphin one. Normally we have at least two. And we've had the Browns both times the past 2 seasons. So I just shot my 3rd season of NFL entirely. The first 2 seasons was for a magazine outlet, 904 Happy Hour. Shout out to them for giving me my very first credentials to go to a Jag game. And then, I got the job at the NFL. Last season was my first official employee of the NFL season shooting. And this year I'm really excited because I feel like I've grown a lot. Me and Trevor, I feel like I was a rookie with him, and as he gets better, I feel like I get better behind the camera. So as he evolves and get better, I feel like I'm getting better at shooting him, and
There you go.
I'm really really pumped for this season because I mean Calvin's amazing, man. I've seen him in person run and just like no pads on, just out there in the grass, just the way he moves, dude. He's going to burn people. And then also you were mentioning how we haven't seen that much really of Trevor, but like in the whole system. But what about Travis Etienne?
Yeah, Travis Etienne, I mean, I'm excited for him. Like I do wonder now, like what the running back room is going to look like with him and Tank Bigsby, and also like Jermichael Hasty, where his role kind of comes in.
I'm so excited to watch that guy run, but
Yeah.
I hope that Travis still, and I believe 100% that he'll still have his, leader role at that, he'll still get the majority of the carries or whatnot. Tank looks like a beast. He looks like a beast, but Travis is different. Think about the old Eagles that Doug Peterson used to run. These fast little running back guys that you could even, pull out, just throw a little, dump it off quick, and they're so little and fast. There they go. And I feel like Travis has so much talent, and his head's really in the game, and he's only got one season under his belt, even though he's been with us for so long.
Yeah, Doug Peterson's definitely a guy. I mean, he doesn't like to use like 2 running backs. He likes to use like 3 or 4 of them. And right now we have like 4 running backs that, when it comes to ETN, you have Hasty, you have Tank Bigsby, and then you sign, what was his name, Dearness Johnson from the Cleveland Browns, who's also extremely capable. So, I mean, you have a loaded running back room with 4 running backs that all have completely different skill sets. And, I don't imagine. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, we have a lot of options. I mean, we're gonna have a high flying offense. I mean, I know last year during the draft, we need defense, we need to draft this, and that. But guess what? They went offense. I mean, offensive tackle, then it went tight end, then it went running back. I mean, our offense, we're going to beat teams by hopefully outscoring them, and hopefully we can.
I truly think we're going to score 30-something points every game this year.
Yeah, and we just got to hope to do enough on defense, be able to get them on
defense. I mean, to be honest, I truly think that. This is super hot take right here. Super hot take. I think Tyson Campbell's going to have a better year than Jalen Ramsey. That's a super hot take, but and that's not biased that I've spent some time with Tyson. I drove down to Miami and filmed him just working out and stuff, and hearing all the NFL other players tease him about how he's about to blow up in the NFL, hearing all these professional, a Dolphin player, a Carolina Panther player, a Washington player. There was a couple other defensive guys all here. One of these guys was at the Super Bowl with the Panthers years ago in 2015. And all these established men, they were all kind of messing and teasing Tyson over him about to get his bag, boy, about to blow up, boy's untouchable. Talk about high flying offense. I think that right now Tyson Campbell is under the radar of this man is about to blow up at DB. And everyone's not even ready.
I mean, he's definitely he's been very, very improved from his final year at Georgia to year 1 in the Jaguars to year 2, where, I mean, he didn't get nearly enough roses that he should have. I mean, he was really good last year, but
shout out to Balky for taking him, man. He's a special guy.
Yeah, I mean, people want to talk about the cornerbacks that are that talk a lot. They like to talk about the Jalen Ramsey, of course.
Dude, he doesn't say anything, bro. He doesn't talk at all. He is so humble and tired and quiet and just tight about his demeanor on the field. He's not out there talking trash to anybody. He shows it. He shows it on the field.
No, yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, Aaron, Aaron, I'm gonna let you go, man. I've got, of course, I'm gonna tag you on the pinned comment after this is over. People follow you on Instagram. Is there any other platform you guys want me to plug for you?
I mean, everybody just type my name in or whatever. TikTok, I'm on Threads now because Threads is the thing. Instagram, whatever. I'm always down to DM people back too. I get questions all the time. Feel free to hit me up. I always respond. And I appreciate you having me on the show, man. First time. Super cool.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I got to have you on again. But yeah, appreciate you taking the time out. I know this is super last minute. I decided today, I was like, you know what? I've done a lot of studying today. I'm going to do a live stream tonight. So
thank you for
getting excited for the season, man. Just can't wait for some football in my life, man. It comes around June and July where I realize, man, life would be so boring without football.
Yeah, dude, life is so boring without football. It's crazy. I'm obsessed with it, man. I love it. Football is life. Ball is life, man. And go Jags, Duval, Jay Villains, and T-Law. We're gonna murk them all this year, man. It's gonna be great, dude.
Heck yeah. All right, Aaron. I'll catch you later, man. Go Jags.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man, that was Aaron Berkshire. I went ahead and plugged his Instagram link right down here. Definitely give him a follow, man. He is I mean, first of all, he's a Jags fan, so we got to appreciate that. Second of all, he's Duval grown. And look, I mean, he's going to rise up the ranks of different cameramen and photographers that are out there just in the NFL world. And, we'd like to see our guy hopefully, rise up to the top. So yeah. What up, Gary? What's happening, man? So yeah, I'm gonna be live for another maybe like 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna head out. If you guys have any like last minute questions, just let me know. We have 100 people in here, man. It gets me excited for the season because life is like I said, man. Life without football. Imagine if June and July that's your whole year. That'd be pretty boring. So I'm just ready to get my competitive juices flowing. I'm ready for Sundays. We play a team. We can talk about it Monday, Tuesday, then Wednesday. We can start looking forward to the next game. This year we're gonna have some winning. I can't wait to do my live reactions because honestly, the live of anything I do on my YouTube channel, I love talking about Jaguars. I love doing these live streams, but the live reactions, with my dad and my brother and with all you guys, it's literally probably one of the favorite things I do in my life. I mean, I love watching the Jaguars. I love being with my family. And, I love doing stuff with you guys. And then, it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun. You see what games you're going to. I'll be at the Steelers game. The only game I know I'm going to is the Buccaneers game in Tampa. Other than that, when it comes to going to Jags games, I mean, I'm not that far away. I usually just buy the tickets. I just kind of show up if there's a game that I like, or if somebody has like this year, I didn't expect to go to the Cowboys game, but then somebody offered up just freaking awesome tickets, right sideline level, and I was like, I'm there. So if that's kind of how I do it. Dude, my favorite reaction you guys had was the Agnew 109-yard. Yeah, that was fun. Just watching the whole thing go down. I was like, oh, go, go, go. My favorite one I had was the Ravens reaction. The Ravens game. I'm just going from like 3rd and 20 to 4th and 5 all the way down the field. That was one of my favorite reactions. And it was really the biggest he's him moment for Trevor Lawrence that I've seen. I know I was gonna buy a Buffalo ticket, but we ain't. Yeah, we're going to London. Yeah, that game got moved, unfortunately. I feel bad for the Atlanta Falcons game in Jacksonville got moved. Imagine if you're like a Falcons fan and you live in like South Georgia. It's like, I'm going to that game and that got moved. I guess that's just kind of same thing with you. Yeah, that stinks. You there's an away game near you. You're going to go there, then it get moves. The first Jaguars away game in London gets moved away from you. I'm sorry about that. What's going on, Jersey Jaguar? He says, what do you think you do with Cam Robinson when he comes back week 5? Have to have Walker Little on the field with Harrison. Well, it all depends on, I think Harrison sticks there at right tackle. You don't move Harrison at right tackle. He's your first round pick. He's your right tackle. The big question is how good is Walker Little playing? Is Walker Little's playing as a top tackle? You move Cam Robinson to left guard. But also, what if Ben is playing amazing? Then all of a sudden you have a backup that's making $1 million per game, and it's probably a good problem that you're going to have. And you just kind of cut Cam Robinson after the year, and you save, $20 million in cap space. Then you allocate that money elsewhere. Honestly, I'm going to have high expectations on Harrison because it took him over Joey Porter Jr. and Nolan Smith. Yeah, you should. He's a first-round pick. We should have pretty big expectations. Was at the Chargers playoff game. Awesome comeback. I was there too. Historic game. We need more games like that, man. I mean, my highlights of being at Jaguar games was 2017 and 2022, and I've been going to games for a long time. Okay, need more good games. Austin Boston's and Random Vid says, do you think our offense may change up any this year? Maybe go deep a little more, because I want to see Trevor. Yeah, I think we go deep a lot more. We didn't have a deep threat. Now we have Calvin Ridley, who can truly take the top off the defense. Yeah, we're going deep more. And you saw that toward the end of the year last year. You saw the Jaguars go deep to Zay Jones a couple of times, most notably in the Cowboys game and the Chargers game. So yeah, I think that's really the next step, is being able to kind of go deep. You think Evan Ingram will play on attack if we don't reach a contract extension? Yeah, I do. I mean, I do. He's happy to be back in Jacksonville. Look, I think Le'Veon Bell proved that, look, you play on the tag. Don't sit out. Don't leave millions of dollars on the table. Just play on the tag and do it that way. All right, last question I'll answer is UCF Jaguar. Who do you think will be the player that is the biggest surprise this year? Ooh, that's a good question. I want to answer this one right. Biggest surprise. Maybe two. I'd say Britton Strange, because like the Jaguars, not a lot of people have Britton Strange on their radar. And Britton Strange was a guy that was pretty much handpicked by Doug Peterson. And look, with the future of Evan Ingram kind of up in the air, Britton Strange is the only tight end that we have any investment in right now. So he could be, and you look around at the NFL, a lot of these really good tight ends are found like later. Like Travis Kelce wasn't a first round pick. Rob Gronkowski wasn't a first round pick. George Kittle was a third round pick. You know, a lot of these tight ends you kind of just find. You know, maybe Britton Strange is that next guy that's like, holy crap, this guy is really good. And maybe number two, maybe Devin Lloyd. I think Devin Lloyd, I mean, kind of let the sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. But hey, man, like he was drafted because he can do a lot of stuff. He's very athletically gifted, learns the defense. And, you know, look, the defense he was in last year was a lot different than what he played in Utah. The competition, the players he was playing against were a lot better last year than when he was at Utah. So, you know, that might be another guy to think about. But all right, guys, I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys, everyone, for joining. Drop a like if you can on your way out. I would really appreciate that. Shout out to Aaron for joining me on this live stream with me a little bit. And yeah, appreciate all you guys for being here. Football season is almost here. Go Jags.